Go on.
Welcome back to another episode of Amateur Hour. Firstly, thank you for listening. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are listening to this. We have got a very special guest on this episode. We've had my former coach who I work with, Christian, and now we've got Tom Hames, the mighty Tom Hames, who, as you know by now, coaches Connor has done for a while. And we wanted to get him on, obviously, with the show season up and coming, and to go through who he's got, his opinions, and every single question that you guys asked. Honestly, protocols to do, what not to do, etc. Because honestly, we've got one of probably arguably one of the best coaches, or not arguably, easily one of the best coaches in the UK right now. And I want to sort of pick his brains in terms of how he got there
I don't know.
and
I don't
why.
know how you rank that. How you rank best. I mean, if we look at resumes, yeah, mine's pretty up there, I'd say.
I would say resumes, but also as well, obviously, it all depends. And we spoke about this, like best coaches for like, you get one coach who might be really, really good for somebody else. Yeah, you get
Mm.
another really, really good coach on the same level who's not good for somebody else. So it all depends on like resumes in terms of like what you've done over the past year,
I
turning people
mean,
pro,
yeah,
all that
yeah,
stuff.
for sure. I would say Cal's probably number one. I would from
Mhm.
resumes within the UK, but he's more expensive than me as well.
Yeah, but I would say there's like this sort of
Hey.
realm. But I would say there's like a realm, isn't there, where like if you think of like British bodybuilding coaches, you're definitely in that realm where like you probably like a
Yeah,
name like
yeah.
a hat full of like a handful of five, probably five, six. I can probably name off the top of my head where you're thinking, okay,
They're
and
in
there's like
that sort of bracket.
yeah, and there's like that bracket, and there's like a big
Martin, yeah, I mean, like off the top of my head, like Martin, me, and Cal are probably definitely floating around
mhm,
one, two, and three, perhaps. I don't know. And
definitely.
then you've got others as well. Christian's on his way up to it. He might not be there at the moment, but he's very much like cascading his way up it very quickly. Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of
Mhm.
resume, he's doing well routinely. Eventually he'll start getting more. He's got one pro card, hasn't he? But he'll start getting more and more. And then as soon as you've done that, like a handful of times, a handful of British titles, a handful of overalls, you just start getting seen more. So
That's it.
yeah.
You get put in that realm that you know. There's people on the cusp, and there's like there's that's the
Yeah,
sort of what
yeah.
you mentioned.
There's like the cusp, and then there's like you, but there's not really that much difference. It's like a blend, isn't it? Like yeah.
Definitely, most definitely. Like we said, there's like different
That's
coaches
not
for
me
different
knocking
people.
anyone, by the way. Like if you're on your way up and your goal is to do that, like you can keep going because it's fucking solid to do it, but you will eventually get there. So,
Exactly that. But like I said, the reason why I wanted to get you on is firstly, Coach Connor. We're going to go through Connor's experience with yourself. I actually got a question going through like, what was your reaction when Connor actually acquired all this sort of stuff, which is quite good.
yeah,
We'll
yeah,
go into, but obviously going through the season, who you've got, who you like sort of up and coming. I know all your clients you want to sort of do well, but there's always like a handful who you're probably excited for in terms of their potential
yeah,
this year.
yeah, definitely, yeah, yeah. There's some that probably would have
Mhm.
surprised me with how effect like how they've really started to come in. Yeah, so
One thing that was apparent to me this year, but also last year, was
mm.
the juniors that you were putting on stage.
Yeah,
Firstly,
yeah.
I was
I'm not
like,
being funny. Like after Connor and Jeagles and then maybe a handful of others. This year, the
yeah,
British finals, PCA finals. Holy fuck, man! The team, not even just me, but Ben as well. Like what we've got as a holy fuck. Like
yeah,
if every one of my juniors competed, like every single one, like apart from Jeagles, obviously because he's a pro, but like Connor, like whoever else, right? And we stuck them all on. That's the top six at the PCA British, like
sick.
straight away. Like straight away. It is. It just is. Because you've got fucking hell. Who have you got? You got like I'm talking everyone in shape, like nails it, right? You've
Yeah,
got Connor, you've got Sam Rogers, you've got Dan Kingston, you've got who else have you got? You've got another lad who I've just taken on called Ben Thompson, who basically looks like fucking like Ross but smaller. Like he's so good. Then who else have you got as well? Fucking is immediately Alex Stevens, right? Then you've got fucking hell,
Well,
there's
technically, Josh isn't Josh Dougal still a junior?
Josh Dougal. Oh,
don't
Josh Dougal,
even.
everybody.
Yeah,
Right, Josh Dougal. Right, that's six of you there. There you go. That's
yeah.
enough. Like that's honestly, the juniors I've got now, and it's so good because do you know what's really good, guys? Like as a coach, I came through bodybuilding from like 14, 15 years old, right? And I didn't have the money to afford a coach, obviously, until much later down the line. But it's so nice to be able to work with guys and be able to look after them in a sense where I know that it's difficult at that age, at that time, to get everything together because you're scrambling to try and just make a name for yourself in some sort of work. if you don't work in sort of coaching the bodybuilding scene, you're still trying to make some good money. Oh, fucking hell, Oscar Stevens. There we go.
Yeah.
Oscar as well. There's another name. Oscar's fucking massive. You got all of these obstacles in front of you, and you're trying to bodybuild on the side, and it's really difficult. But so to see them all doing so well, and like that's like the future of bodybuilding, it's really cool that I'm helping them out now. It's really cool. Yeah, I really like it.
I think
It's
I think
good fun.
I think the main one that stood out to me this year so far, seeing like just through your stories and stuff, has been like Josh Dougal.
Yeah, Josh is ridiculous, isn't he?
I
He's fucking
saw
good.
the
He's a
bodybuilder.
robot. He's an absolute
Yeah,
robot, man.
I saw the Bodybuilders Without Borders post today of his check-in that was either today or yesterday or something.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, ridiculous.
He's a monster. Yeah, we thought he was going to be a super, but he's going to be a heavy. Just at the real top end of the heavies. We did plan for supers, but to get his glutes in, he's going to have to come down lighter than 225. So it is what it is. But that's fine. Because he'll do very, very well in there, and he's going to be one of the biggest heavies
I
there.
was going to say you'd probably rather that, wouldn't you? Because he's probably at the
Yeah,
top,
yeah.
the top
Than
of the.
being than being 230 and being one of the lightest guys in there, up against guys who are 250, 260,
Mhm.
whatever. And I understand that obviously it's a look that matters, but because Ross is a light heavy at 198 pounds, has beat that Greg guy, that Scottish Titan guy, and he was like 260 on stage. So weight doesn't particularly matter too much.
Mhm.
It's more, well, a lot of the time, but you still want to try and be the biggest that you can be for your weight cap if you are trying to do a weight cap.
Yeah,
No, definitely. Well, touching on that point actually, with the Greg being 260 and somebody being 198, and the 198 guy beating the overall big guy. With how bodybuilding's going over the past year, do you think they're going for more sort of shape and structure and actually fit in the actual category rather than
Perhaps, but I think because a lot of the judges that we still have within the judging scene are perhaps guys who are over 35, over 40, within that sort of judging scene. I still don't think that we'll move far more towards this sort of symmetrical, proportion-based
Mhm.
conditioning and focused thing. We will still, for a few more years, still see that. But when guys who are like your sort of age, when you're in that coaching scene, maybe we start seeing more shape and structure being sort of more of a consideration. Perhaps that because they've grown up with bodybuilding being the only thing. Now we've got classic and men's physique and whatever. We've
Yeah.
grown up with kind of that. So maybe we see that sort of come into play a little bit more within the judging scene. Perhaps it's a few more years before it's considered a lot more. I don't know. Perhaps there's things that will change, but we'll see. We'll see.
No, I rate that.
I was gonna pull up. I'll just do this screen share thing. So obviously, this was the one that I was talking about just a second ago.
Yeah.
Mate, his side tricep, by the way, is I don't know a person with a better side tricep, honestly.
I don't think there's a better one in the UK for anyone under 23. I don't
No
think
way,
there is. I
no,
think there's
no way,
really.
no way.
I just don't think there is. Even Jack Eagle's one is as great as it is. I think Josh's triceps here are just too much. Plus the midsection, the way that his midsection sits as well.
It was the most muscular he does. I don't know where it would have been.
It will be there. It'll be with that one. It's the next one
That one.
across. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Everyone's like, "Oh, his legs are short. His legs are short. He needs to bring up his legs. Oh, a few more years." And I'm like, "Nah, they're crap in photos. In person, they're actually really good.
Yeah.
He's got really good legs. Yeah, he's surprisingly, yeah, like really, really. I saw him in person. I was like, he's very balanced. He's a lot more balanced than in person than he is in photos, and that's all that matters. That's all that judges see anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
you'd rather it that way than the other way around.
Oh fucking hell, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And the fact that he's maintaining all this strength all the way through, because I've seen he was like
he's a strong
Bravo
motherfucker,
runner.
man. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's good for me because I know that he's not like losing tissue going down. So
yeah,
It shows. It genuinely shows.
So he
Like,
obviously with like pro qualifiers and stuff coming up with the early shows this year. How many have you got like running?
He's one with the potential of another, but that's it. We both his goal. The thing is as well. This is the way Josh thinks as well, which is brilliant. I really admire it. He doesn't think, "Hey, I'll go do lower ranked stuff because I know I can quite comfortably win it." If he went and did PCA stuff now, didn't bother with IFBB, it's win, win, win. Probably win, probably an overall, right? Like win juniors, they're probably an overall because all the PCA judges will be like, "Oh, fucking hell, you're very good." But he doesn't care. Do you know what he did for his first ever show? like whatever age. He did the men's open. He did the men's super heavyweight, class one PCA, whatever. That's what he did for his first ones. And then he did like heavyweights as well, like open heavyweights.
Sick.
He's never done it. I don't think he's ever done a junior class because he just
That's
doesn't care
mental.
about it. He's like, if I'm not winning the overall, I don't give a fuck. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's pretty brutal. Like, if I'm competing, I'm picking the easy little route.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get most people that do that, don't you? Especially if it's like him, let's go for the win. But mate, fair
Yeah,
play.
he's not.
I
He don't give
highly
a
rate
fuck.
it.
He don't give a fuck. He's just straight
Yeah.
in with the big boys.
Have you got any others gunning for the earlier pro qualifiers?
I got Jack as well. I got Jack Jones. Yeah.
Jack Jones.
JJ Physique one.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Fucking freak,
Is he
mate.
doing the
Such
same
a freak.
the same one?
Sorry.
Is he doing the same?
He's in classic. He's classic
Hmm.
tour.
He's a
Okay.
freak, mate. I see. You see him was it the other week? Or
I
last
saw
week
him in
was it?
person, mate.
Yeah,
He's
that was it.
unbelievably good in person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. He's tall as well, no?
6'2" and a bit, 6'2" and a half, maybe
Sick.
6'3".
Mate, look at that.
Yeah.
Do you know he's like still like 4 or 5 pounds over his weight cap? We still haven't got him there. Yeah.
And you don't like use growth with him or anything because he just keeps packing on
Can't
muscle.
afford growth at the moment, no. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mental.
Yeah, he didn't use growth. Didn't use growth.
That's
Or
crazy.
insulin. He's never really used growth or insulin. Yeah.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah, man.
Really. And
Oh,
is he going,
He's
what, is
just
that
he's
the
just
Ben
a
Wheatley?
freak, man. Bro, his dosages are so low as well.
Yeah.
So low. Yeah, so low.
Is
Like
he
under a gram.
is he
Like
gonna
under 1,000 milligrams a week.
that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
great. Because I was speaking to some juniors who are running
No trend.
ridiculous
No trend.
amounts.
Can't take trend. Doesn't take trend. Yeah,
Is that
no
because of
orals in yet either. Just test
is
match
that
and
because
prenup.
of like progesterone issues, or is it just in general?
No, just doesn't. Just
the
doesn't take
psychological. Just doesn't take dread.
No, he'll grow into the show if I did. He put
Oh,
too much
mate.
muscle. Put too much muscle on into the show, and then he wouldn't make his cap. If I actually he can't use Supergel. If he uses Supergel, he'll put too much muscle on and he won't make the cap.
Imagine
He'll
that.
grow,
Like,
he'll grow new lean muscle, and I mean it. This isn't just horseshit. It's not like intramuscular fluid or whatever. But I left him on trend for 6 weeks. He just wouldn't make it. He'd put on probably about 7 or 8 pounds. His body wants to be enormous.
Yeah.
It just wants to. Yeah, he's eating 2,000 odd calories, or maybe 1,800 calories or something at the moment, something like that. And he's like sticking at 244. Oh fucking hell! Police going past, mate.
Yeah.
They know. They know.
they know.
Yeah, he's like 244, something like that. Like, yeah, he's just it's just stupid how his genetics are.
Yeah.
Like they're probably the best. They're probably the best genetics for growing I've probably ever seen. I think.
Really?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It looks it. Genuinely, the guy's a freak.
Yeah.
What about the I know obviously you mentioned with the juniors with PCA and stuff. What about like overall PCA? Have you got anyone that
Yeah, I've got a handful of guys who are sort of going for that sort of stuff this year. Nobody who's going to like completely utterly storm
Yeah.
PCA. I've got Matt who's doing classic. I've got a couple of other guys who are at the end of the year who are looking pretty good. Obviously, the juniors are all very very good. I've got a couple of a tone figure lady doing it in the first time as she's very very good as well. So just a handful kind of sparsely sort of situated in different spots. My main focus for this year is probably IFBB, I would say.
Okay.
That's good.
And a lot of the PCA British finals. I want a British title and some real good top spots and everything there. That'll be really good fun. But my main focus is pro cards this year. Like as much as I love PCA and it's brilliant, like I don't get to the level of coaching people like fucking Samson or whoever or whatever, until I've got more and more cards to kind of prove my worth on that. So
Yeah.
Definitely agree.
that's the only language they speak. That's the only language they speak. If I start saying I've got 17 British champions with PCA I got 11 British champions in one day with PCA, that doesn't mean fuck all to them. They go, oh, you got 6 pro cards or whatever like that year. Oh, you're pretty good. Do you know what I mean? So you have to speak their language with your resume. So.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
No, that makes sense.
Goodness me, shooting for pro cards. That's the
Sorry?
shift that is. Shifting that is like going from like obviously it's crazy point to think like 5 years ago you were getting like British titles. Now your shift is completely opposite end and for IFBB Pro like pro cards.
Yeah, well, I got 4 last year, so I want to try and
that's
get 4
mental.
this year as well.
Yeah, mate.
I'd like an Olympia invite as well if I can do that this year. That would be fun.
Mate,
Who do you think would get? Because Sarah's not competing this year, is she?
No, she might do. Well, we don't know. It's debatable.
Okay.
But at the back end of the year, there's secret weapons, like.
Yeah. Sick. Okay.
Secret weapons. Love it. But I mean, I've got so many questions. Genuinely,
Yeah,
if you
Let's
wanna,
do it.
if you
Let's
wanna,
do it, man. Yeah, we got time. We got time. Let's do it.
Cool. I
If it
got.
gets too late, I'm gonna get my girlfriend to come spoon feed me Thai food whilst you guys are whilst you
That's all
guys are.
good.
Go for
I'll
it.
be like, yeah, so Trent's great.
Please go past again.
Quickly before the questions, do you know Eval, the bloodletting
Yeah.
company? So Dave Crossland, the guy who I don't know
I
if you,
runs it. Yeah, no, Dave.
yeah, have you watched his like documentary?
Yes, yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, do you see how much he used to eat? Yeah.
Yeah, and the gear and everything. I
The
watched the
gear
first,
was bonkers. The
I
gear
watched
was
the
a
first one
lot.
yesterday. I'm gonna watch the second one tonight. Mental.
Yeah, yeah. Have you watched him train? You seen how strong he is?
Yeah. Stupid. I saw
Fucking
him
stupid.
even
Fucking
just like
stupid.
the small movements, like preacher curl bicep, like one arm preacher curl, fucking 40 kilo dumbbell.
Yeah, yeah.
He almost because he was trying to get to 400 pounds, wasn't he?
He was at one point, I think.
Because I think he was trying to chase Greg Kovacs or something.
He was just enormous,
Yeah.
man. Just enormous. Just
Yeah.
totally huge. Obviously, he stopped all that now, but yeah, like what he was eating as well, I think was the most insane bit. There was a point in time, if you look at forums, when he talks about how much food he was eating, where he wasn't really tracking his fats because they were very low because everything was super, super clean. But he was eating, I think he said over 1,000 grams of protein a day. Yeah. 1,000 grams of
I
protein
bet
and a
his
thousand grams of
digestion was
carbs.
just
I think it was
crap.
1.2 kilos of protein a day, and 1.4 kilos of carbs a day, grams of carbs. Obviously, I'm not talking about actual weight. I'm talking about macronutrients. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you start measuring your protein in kilograms, you are truly into freak status, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
I
never
think,
done that with anyone. I've never had anyone eat that much. I
yeah,
think
no.
most of them ever had someone eat is about 450 grams. That's because they wanted to.
It's ridiculous. Like I know obviously the food was mental, but the cycle, the approach to the drugs was
His
like
drugs was huge, wasn't it? Was it like 2 grams
and
a tip
where
or
he
three
was
grams a tip?
pinning it as well, because he was doing it like in his calves, in
Yeah,
his
he's run out of space.
each head of his tricep, fucking everywhere was just going in.
Yeah, like a dartboard. Oh my lord.
Yeah, run out. I pinned everywhere, but like, yeah, there are. He just kept
Scary.
going into all sorts of places, didn't he? So,
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so in
have you
terms
ever pinned your calf? Have you
oh,
ever
Nah,
done
I've
it?
not pinned my
fuck
car.
that.
I've done it. It's horrible. Don't ever do it.
No,
Don't
I
do
don't
it.
even. After watching that, that's confirmed. I don't ever want to try that.
No. Yeah, I've done obviously like biceps and triceps and pecs and lats and rear delts and all sorts of whatever. But the yeah calf was the worst one.
Yeah.
I've done my forearm as well with half a mil of gear in here, but I would never ever do that again.
No.
Never.
I can imagine the pain of that would be.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You do just run out of spaces, I guess, when you're running that much.
yeah, most definitely. Easily. Quite easily, I reckon.
Yeah.
More easily than we think. But
Um.
Jesus.
Let's go
Okay.
through these
So,
questions then. What we got?
what
So
is
we've got
the main difference between coaching men and women? Who do you prefer and why?
Um, I don't really have a preference as such. I think it's more to do with the individual. I think that you find more women who are very much just suck it up, butt the cup, and get on with it.
Mhm.
Um, and I find that blokes are a lot more. Maybe it's just because there's obviously maybe more of them doing bodybuilding or whatever, but they're more sort of. They can be a bit pedantic about doing things a certain way. Whereas ladies kind of just accept that what you're telling them is the best for them and get on with it, I feel. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. And I find it's more so just the person, like more so just the individual that you're working with. And if that you kind of gel with them or if you don't, like I get on with, pretty much all of my clients. I don't really have anyone that we're very much at different ends of the spectrum of things. And I'll always try and meet someone somewhat closer towards the middle, bordering on my side, but I'll try and meet them closer. But sometimes if people just start suggesting stupid shit, I just have to lay down the law and be like, look, you can do that if you want, but you won't be doing it under me. Like that's that. You know?
Okay.
Tough.
Like it's usually I think that the thing is the reason why I don't have a lot of problems, and this is going to sound misogynistic, and every bikini girl is going to come at me with a pitchfork and a torch, but I don't coach a ton of bikini competitors, and because there are some bikini girls that are spitting sawdust, routine, regiment, get on with it. They're treating it like an athlete, like they should do. Like your girlfriend does, doesn't
Yeah.
she? Con? Like she
Yeah.
fucking smashes it, right? I've watched, she's fucking robot. But like you get a lot of that, right? You really do, which is great. But you also get the ladies who are a bit prima donna and they kind of come in and they don't really like they kind of want to, they want the glitz and the glam of it all, but they don't realize the athlete side of it and the actual sport behind it. Whereas I like that, and I like when a lady acknowledges that, and that you got to put this graft in. It's not a case of going in and doing some piddly extensions, a bit of glutes here and there. Eat some of your protein, but then fuck it every weekend because you're out on the piss because you've started to get a nice figure and everything for your clothes. It's just like
Yeah.
that's not a competitive bodybuilder. You're a competitive bodybuilder. You bodybuild, right? So because I don't train a ton of bikini girls, I don't really have like anything like that routine and regiment, which is I like training the bigger girls. I like training the bigger guys. Like I like the juniors I work with. Their fucking sound, so
Yeah.
it's cool. It's cool.
Fair enough. But I got one saying, do you think there should be a minimum standard to pass before anyone gets on stage? So in terms of,
Oh, dude, I had this conversation. How many clueless competitors have you guys seen in your years of bodybuilding? How long have you been competing? Obviously, being at bodybuilding shows, but how many have you seen? Do you think?
see,
How many
this
have
is
you
quite scary because I've not been exposed to bodybuilding for like I think 2.5 years, 2.5 years, and
I'm
then
not,
I've
I'm
come
not
across.
talking about someone who's missed, not really kind of dieted hard enough their first shot. I'm not talking like, but like where they've got actual development, but they might not have realized how conditioned they actually needed to be. I'm
Mm.
not talking about that. I'm talking about genuinely, what are you doing on the stage?
Yeah. Quite a
I've
few.
seen a
How,
few. I've
how
seen a
many do you
few.
think? Because I was trying to work out the other day how many I'd seen.
More than you think. Like there's
Yeah, that's the
at
thing.
most,
More
at
than a,
most shows, I think.
So I think I've probably seen anywhere from 15 to 20
Okay.
in my time, probably.
Yeah.
Yes, I've competed against one actually,
Yeah.
which was fun. It didn't just I just it showed me the level of the delusion and the fact that it doesn't actually for some it's because they train at home, there's no one else around them, they live in the middle of nowhere, they don't really get to see much bodybuilding, and they're not really able to compare it to anything other than what they think they look like compared to these other people, and they're a little bit delusional with that, but not so far gone. But then you also get people who are genuinely so delusional and in a bodybuilding gym, and everyone in the gym is like, he fucking competes. Are you joking? Like you get very, very two different ends of the spectrum, and it's a bit weird, I think. But if they have genuinely got like an issue where they just, like a bit of a mental health issue, they're not, whatever, they're just not quite like with it and
mm.
whatever. I think that's kind of more a sad case, and you kind of just have to cheer them on and let them get on with it. But you don't know, do you? You don't know what they're thinking and
That's the
what why.
thing, though. That's the thing. But I don't know if there
I'd
should
love
be
to be
like,
able to go up to one and chat with one and be like, "Hey, come here, man. Let's have a chat." And because if you want to do this, you're gonna have to do a lot better than that.
I
Like,
think in that case, you like for getting the best out of somebody and like,
I'd
probably
love to
putting
be
the
able to
best.
help. I just don't think they really get it, do
That's the thing. That's what I was going to say. Literally.
they? I think it's rough to say, but there probably should be a minimum standard. But Tom, like, let me ask you this, man. If you went into an arm wrestling comp and they asked you what club do you pull at, and they go, "No, I just do some training at home. I'm just really good at arm wrestling in the pub." They'd go, "You can't compete there, mate." Wouldn't they? They
Mm.
would say it. It's like you're going to tear your fucking arm off.
It'll be like, do you want your
Someone's going to
humerus
snap your
broken?
arm. Sorry.
They'll be like, do you want your humerus broken? And they'll be like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I don't really want that.
Is
Thank
that
you.
what you're here for?
Yeah, but it's true though. It is true though.
Yeah. Like, there is a minimum standard, isn't there? If there isn't
Yeah.
a club that you pull out, you don't know you're going in there just a bit clueless and whatever. You wouldn't let you. Maybe that needs to be a thing for bodybuilding. I think it's quite a hard thing to do.
I
Yeah.
think if they could get a few things in place, like now you've broken down that, like in terms of it's probably the health and safety of, well, not health and safety, but like better for them if they in that case.
The
But
problem that you've got is that they've paid, they've whatever, and all of
that's the
that.
thing.
But where I was about to say, oh, and they've dieted for it, but they clearly haven't dieted for it.
Mm.
So it's a weird one, isn't it? I
So
mean,
I know PCA had to like delete a post or turn the comments off last year from there was a girl
the
who
guy had no tan on and he was fat.
yeah, there was that, and there was a girl who got a lot of hate for coming in
Hmm.
not dieted, and
Yeah,
like they've had to stop that for mental health issues and stuff, but like they shouldn't be if PCA kind of stopped them from being on the stage at the first point.
Yeah, I think that it's one of those, you just have to kind of I don't think that they'll ever be able to just put those rules in place.
Yeah.
But would it be better for bodybuilding if they did? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
That's the thing. It's like a maybe one, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
But does it actually make anything better for any of us? Does it change anything in our lives? Does it change anything in our competitive experience? No, unless we
no.
lost to them.
Yeah.
You're there like, what?
Did you see the guy at the amateur Arnold's?
Yeah, he
Mate.
was.
I think he did almost every class.
Yeah, and this is the thing. How much does it cost
Yeah.
to compete there? 200
But
quid?
he's thrown away so much money. But he's walked away with about 8 medals.
Yeah,
All,
for
all
positive.
about fifth place, but he's walked away with medals. But yeah.
Crazy, crazy.
Um,
Anyway, what's next, guys? What have we got?
3 PEDs you would never use and why? Or maybe
Three.
suggest hypothetically to use.
Oh, of course. Three drugs that I would not personally ever recommend for bodybuilding purposes. So if we're moving away from steroids, because I feel like all steroids can have a place at some point in time, perhaps with a certain individual. So maybe move away from anabolics as such. Actually, maybe oral tren wouldn't. It's just pointless. Like unless you're a power lifter and you're off your tits, like it's not really worth it. There's other alternatives. But perhaps. Do you guys know what Nubane is?
No.
Have you heard of Nubane? So Nubane is a painkiller that was originally established for bodybuilders, and it was used to help induce like a more of like a relaxed state post-workout, apparently. And it came in little glass ampules, and you would have to inject it. So you would start with like injecting it sub-Q, then intramuscular, and then eventually IV. And what it would do is it would obviously the theory was that it would allow for more growth hormone and to be released and stuff. To a degree, but also like if you had niggles and injuries and pains and stuff, then it helped you obviously get through those and through your workouts and stuff. Then the other one was so what GHB is?
Yeah.
It's date rape, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. So bodybuilders used to use that, used to use a teaspoon of that to help them go to sleep before bed. That's
Oh,
just like a
mate.
90s thing.
Apple.
Yeah, they used to use a teaspoon of it. Not what fucking. Well, this is the thing. It was actually originally designed, like used in bodybuilding, but some fucking prick thought, hey, I can use this to
Yeah.
fucking drug women. So bodybuilders used to do the tiniest bit, and then it used to like just like completely like chill them out, and they used to be an absolute zombie and sleep. And obviously that again was supposed to help with recovery and repair and growth hormone sort of whatever, and help you sleep on prep. Um, and then I think the only other thing I would probably say doesn't really have a use in bodybuilding would be perhaps like anything that's based off like a DMMA substrate sort of thing.
Mhm.
So like because you can get a good pre-workout without being completely on drugs. Do you know what I mean? Like if you want to take recreational drugs, safe, but do it at an event where you're not drinking booze or you're drinking very little booze, you're hydrated, you're in a dance atmosphere, you're having a great time. It's a one-off sort of thing. That's fine. If you want to go do speed or MDMA or whatever, but like I don't think that speed or DMMA or any methylated sort of dimethyl methylamphetamine, anything of that nature, really has a place in bodybuilding because you're actually asking for an injury by taking something so strong. You're going to get off your tits. You're going to go into the gym. You're going to do far more weight than you can normally do, and you're going to tear something eventually or pop something. And I think that just doesn't have a point. No drugs really, outside of things like that, like that really should be kept in like a recreational sort of scene. Like they don't have a place in bodybuilding. Bodybuilding should be kept to growth hormone, insulin, steroids, and fat burners and things like that. I don't think there's any point putting anything like
No.
you don't need to be stimmed off your tits to train. You don't need it. Like
I think it's really overrated, mate. Pre-workouts in general. I only
yeah,
ever use it like rarely, like once a week. Like for
yeah. I use it. I use it probably like maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe depending.
yeah,
So
that's literally
sometimes
all.
I've done it twice in a week, but then I feel like my sleep gets fucked up, and then I'm just you know what I mean. So
Mhm. I'm the same, but
some people
uh,
some people do great on them. Some people do great. So
here we go. The most impressive physique you've ever seen in person,
oh, that's good.
or you
Uh,
can say probably top, or like, you do like top for like each like sort of category or like open whatever
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
want.
that would be better. One of the most impressive physiques I've ever seen in person. Um, do you know who I really like his look? Do you know Tyler, the men's physique pro, the one from the UK?
Um,
He was at the Gymshark British finals.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, phenomenal. He was no. He's a pro now. He's a pro
But
bodybuilder.
no, he did the pro show at that
Oh,
show.
okay, cool. I didn't know. I don't know they had one. But
Pretty
yeah,
sure.
no. He was insane. In
Yeah.
person, he's insane. I love his look, man. It's so clean. It's such a clean look. And then for classic, I saw Wesley in person at Alicante. Yeah, that's pretty crazy up close. It's a very detailed physique, very
Yeah.
separated individual all over, very separated and detailed. So classic, maybe him. And then who else in open bodybuilding? Do you know who was really good when he turned pro? Was Rob Taylor in person. I've never seen a more dominant physique backstage that basically made everyone look over and go, "Oh fuck," because he dropped his trousers and he just had like his posing trunks on, and he turned around to flex his glutes and it was just
Yeah,
just
ridiculous.
separated and peeled, and everyone was just like, well, we're competing for second place." So he was really impressive in person. Obviously Hollingshead's a freak in person.
Yeah.
Like going through posing with him over at Kojo's, like he's absolutely fucking enormous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've seen a few. Probably, I mean, I'd probably say Hollingshead just because of the size of him in person when he goes through posing.
Sheer size, the bloke. Mental.
Huge. He was like 285 at the time.
Yeah.
So he just, and like lean. I was just like, fucking hell, James.
Even at his
I
like
haven't really been able to train my quads lately. They're a little bit flat. And I'm like, if it's flat, I want flat quads.
even when he's at his like biggest body weight, he still looks like
He's quite trim still, isn't he?
Yeah.
Quite
Yeah,
trim
he
still.
still holds a very good composition, like peak
Yeah,
offset.
very
peak.
impressive. Yeah. Also, I mean, Mark Hector's pretty impressive in person too. It just because his waist's still tiny when he's just fucking so broad. So
Yeah, I saw him at the Arnold's in 2022, I think it was,
yeah,
and that's when apparently he weren't like his best that day, and he still looked ridiculous.
the most, but the most, I'd say the most impressive because obviously I do a lot of like women's physique and figure and stuff. The most impressive women's physique. Let me see if I can find the thingy for you guys. Instagram. It's a
Oh,
lady called. It's called
is,
Anne. She's
is
Anne
she
something.
French?
Yeah, you know how I'm about.
Mate,
Yeah,
honestly, Connor, if you've not seen this lady, bro,
it was unbelievable, wasn't
mate,
it?
her glutes,
It's
bro,
the
it's
glutes. Yeah,
like
I knew you were gonna say that.
ridiculous. She's like, she sits the side chest and the side tricep, and you can just see her like every fiber in her glutes, just like
Oh yeah, it's another level, isn't it?
ridiculous,
It's
mate.
her Instagram is ALM body.
Oh yeah.
Mate, get it up. Mate, get up. It's the side tricep and the side chest that she does. It's a freak show, mate. Oh my lord.
Like an anatomy chart.
Did
If
you
you
watch her
go
at the
down
Arnold?
further and you find her Arnold's
Mate,
video,
it was mate.
so she's in a blue bikini and it'll have the Arnold's UK background
Oh,
backdrop
the
to
Arnold
it. So I
UK.
should be a little bit further. Touch more. There it is. There,
Yeah,
go up. You missed it. Yeah. So
That's-
if you look on that video there, on that one there, it might show what her glutes kind of look like when you zoom it. But bro, I was like to the side, so I was kind of seeing like the glutes and everything up there and whatever. Mate, it was fucking wild.
mate. I was the same. I was literally I was on the left side, so I could see her glutes as well. I was like, what?
Yeah, it was fucking stupid, wasn't it? It was absolutely stupid.
I
She
know
kind of
exactly who
dominated.
you're on about as well. I know exactly who you're on about because it's just
Yeah, that's
freaky.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Oh
it was
my,
like when she posed like that, I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, unbelievable, mate. In person, she's just an
way better in
absolute
person.
monstrosity of a human being.
Yeah, I can imagine. Because even through this shit quality, like you can see it.
Yeah, it's fucking dreadful quality, and you can see that she's skinned out.
But mate,
Right,
oh, look at it's a picture at the start, mate. There's a side
Yeah.
tricep that when she's got pinned. Mate,
Yeah.
it's freakish. The
Yeah, wicked shape.
Monster. Anyway, yeah. So there you go. There you go. Look at that. What the
the-
fuck is up with that glute?
Yeah, crazy.
Crazy. So what's the next one, guys? What have we got? What good ones have we got? Anything juicy?
Worst
That's pretty
cycle,
good.
worst cycle you've ever heard of, hypothetically.
What is
Oh
that?
god.
Oh god. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something bad that someone would run. Where I just look. I think when you kind of just look at someone and you're just thinking, are you sure? Like, why have you been told to take that? Like, sort of thing. So maybe like, oh fucking hell, what's? I've had two really bad ones recently, actually, with clients. That might be more interesting.
Yeah.
With people like a lady I've recently just took on. So she's very much new to the bodybuilding scene. She's a Spanish lady. She's on clenbuterol and Anadrol.
What?
25 mgs of Anadrol a day. was like, why are you on that? Like pro women's physique competitors, yeah, I can understand it has a place, right? Like 25 migs like every other day or something like that or whatever, right? Has a place. But just got into the gym. Yes, I'm doing a cutting phase, so I wanted something to make sure that I was preserving my like able to grow muscle. Like what? We're
Jesus.
taking clenbuterol. What a weird fucking way to start your anabolics. Ladies normally like 5 migs of anavar or 10 migs, whatever, and but like no, she's like clenbuterol. Okay, cool. So I'm very much having to sway her in the right direction. And then I've had another guy who's just signed up, who does 1 shot a week, and he does half a mil of Sustanon a week. And I was like, what? What? So he's like half a mil of Sustanon, a mil of Deca, which I'm assuming is around about 200 or 300 milligrams a week of Deca,
Yeah.
nandrolone, and then some like half a mil of EQ, and then like 3 D-bol a day. What is this shit, man? What the fuck? The fucking 90s called. They want this
What
cycle
is the
back.
ration? What is that?
Yeah,
What
so
was wrong with
125
it?
mgs of Sustanon. Let's call it 300 milligrams of nandrolone. Let's call it what, 250, 300 mg? Oh no, a bit less. About 250 mgs of boldenone, and then 30 mgs of D-bol a day. What a stupid fucking cycle.
And pinning
And
it.
it's like a Rimidex, like every other day as well. I'm like, mate, all right, cool, just
And
stop.
once a week, pinning it once a week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one shot, one big shot. Yeah, yeah. 2.5 mil in the syringe, boosh, done.
That
It's
is that
stupid.
is fucked. That
Yeah.
is actually fucked.
Like that's like, don't get me wrong, right? Like I I'm fully aware that people do things differently all over the place, right? Different countries, whatever. But if you're from the UK, we very much have a regimen and a routine that we all know works the best now, don't we? Slow titration of a medium to low testosterone, build it up to as high as you can tolerate without side effects. Primobolan or Masteron or a combination of the two. Slow build up over time, potentially some nandrolone or trembolone alongside it should you need to, and work your way up. Growth hormone, insulin, things of that nature added in should you need them. That's very much the UK's. This works beautifully. We don't really get much sides. We all make lovely progress. Let's just routinely stick with this, right? So why is this not fed down across the entire sort of bodybuilding scene yet? Why is it still just like a big chunk of us that know about it, but others just don't got a
Mm,
Scoob?
No. They
it's true.
that leads on to this one. So, what is your hierarchy of PEDs when prepping someone?
Like what would I sort of use?
Yeah,
Mm.
like
Sort of,
yeah, yeah,
well, you obviously need a testosterone base, don't you? But Primobolan and Masteron are very nice little combo drugs to obviously put in with it. I feel like growth hormone is one of those drugs that when you do get the cash to be able to utilize it in a higher sort of point. I mean, Con, you'll know this now, won't you? Right? Like when if you I feel like growth hormone is one of those things that will separate you from being a good bodybuilder to being the best bodybuilder that you can be. And if you have a really, really good genetic response to it, even better, because the more you take, the more progression you'll make, really, a long period of time, I think. I think if you can use 8 to 10 IUs a day, and from previous experience, and if you could run that for as long as you can tolerate, with slight dip offs if it gets side effects of too much, and you
yeah,
can run that for consistently for a period of time alongside your cycles, I think the progress you'll make will be far greater, far, far greater.
yeah,
Because it's just such a. I mean, look at anyone who goes on growth hormone insulin with good, like pretty routinely, with very good, like with a good genetic potential. Like Jack, for example. Jack, what the amount of muscle Jack put on in 9 months with growth hormone and insulin alongside his cycles? It's unbelievable, isn't it? The size you've got to now, Connor, with growth hormone and insulin being in play.
yeah,
It is the game changer, but you do have to unfortunately run quite a bit of it, or at least run it for a long period of time.
yeah.
Mm.
I
The
really, I really, yeah, it's one of those ones that, like, for off season, it's there. But like on a prep scenario, I mean, like test, primo, bit of mass, whatever, and then obviously growth and bits after that come with. But yeah, if you can run a good bit of growth, then that's good.
yeah,
So one of the really
That's
interesting ones at the moment. Have you guys heard of somatrogon? Do you know what somatrogon is?
no.
Long acting growth hormone.
Okay.
mm.
Yeah, so
So
it's new. It's kind of used in medicine at the moment, like UK pharmacies and everything, and doctors are prescribing it because it's a once per week injection of growth hormone.
Okay.
mate, I'd be all over that
Yeah.
rather than
Yeah.
pinning, mate.
Only thing is, it's very, very, very expensive. So it comes in milligrams, 60 milligrams, or I think, or 45 milligrams per pen. And you, as a bodybuilder, the dosage that you're supposed to use, if you're as 100 kilograms of lean body mass, basically, is a pen a week, and it's around about 300 quid a pen.
Oh,
So you're spending about £300 a week on growth hormone,
Jesus Christ.
and that's like the baseline dosage. Yeah.
Yeah,
So what
no.
you could do if you wanted to is take that and then take the other growth hormone on top, but then you are looking at £300 a week and
You're looking at a
and your
mortgage.
normal growth hormone
You're looking
bill.
at a mortgage. That's what you're looking at.
Yeah. But I think if you're going into a prep and you're a pro bodybuilder and you were doing like half a pen a week and then growth hormone on top of it as well, that might be something that could be used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just use it like for 10 weeks or so. Just get 5 pens and use it for 10 weeks. So,
Yeah.
but it is mega money. It is mega
And
money.
blow up. Goodness me. But I've got one saying.
And also like sourcing it, like where the fuck are you even going to get that? Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
It's true. Within your time in bodybuilding, obviously the industry has changed, but do you think in a positive or negative manner?
positive in some respects, negative in others. So positive in some respects that there is far more good information being fed through coaching scenes and everything, and it's a lot of good info, and we do have to pat ourselves on the back for that. And a lot more health management these days as opposed to previous, where there was a lot less. I feel that the UK is far and above in terms of health management side, PD usage side, and the understanding of it all within compared to the USA scene. I feel like USA is still slowly catching us up and not quite getting there at the speed that they need to, but they will eventually, I think. And I think the European scene is just in a pile of shit, basically. It's a mess. Especially their drug usage for ladies is haphazardous and dangerous, downright dangerous, if I'm honest. Yeah. They don't really know what they're doing. From what I've seen, kind of routinely, very excessive dosing. And then in terms of training, I think we've progressed nicely, but I think we have lost a bit of what it means to just bodybuild. Just go
Completely
in
agree.
there and lift some weights
Hmm.
and progressively get stronger and bigger in the way that you enjoy, where as opposed to having to micromanage every fucking silly little detail. But then if you do enjoy micromanaging every little detail, you then shit on by people who are just old school bodybuilders through and through, and they just don't quite get that you want to just enjoy it in your own way. So I feel like there's definitely a clash with training more so than with other stuff. And I feel like nutrition is just only got better, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't think there's a negative side of that. I think that we only getting better as time goes on with nutrition. So
That's good. That's good to hear.
especially keeping people longer in the sport without having poor relationships with food. I think that's one thing. I think ladies are going to be in the sport longer because of being able to get this understanding of relationship with food earlier on. And blokes actually don't develop the whole binge eating thing because that's one of the worst ones that I've seen. So diet
Hmm.
hard all week, eat shit at the weekends, diet hard all week, eat shit at the weekends, one big cheat meal that ends up being 7 hours of just raiding the fridge, like that was a very much a 90s and early 2000s method. And now we know that that's just not a thing anymore. You shouldn't do that. So.
No,
Hmm.
that's good. So this one sort of relates to me and Tommy quite well. There's one piece of advice if you could to new coaches, what would it be?
Um, like find a niche that you work with and find something that you're going to be very good at and get even better at it. Like if you have like a total encyclopedic like 100% knowledge of something or as close as you can get to it, you will find your niche and you will work in that sort of retrospect. And like for me, it's like bigger girls, bigger guys, like you kind of come to Tom if you want to turn up peeled and fucking massive and whatever. Like kind
Yeah.
of getting into that sort of that side of things. But I don't really deal with too many men's physique or bikini ladies or smaller sort of passes and stuff like that. And then I found, I personally, I think that as much as social media is king, unfortunately, at the moment, and I say unfortunately because it shouldn't really be, it should be your results that you push
Hmm.
out. But I feel like as much as it's king, like pay attention to it, do your work on it, whatever. But when all is said and done, and we finally come full circle back around to just looking at straight up results, you need to have that basis there of results with clients, results with your own bodybuilding, and a baseline of knowledge that you can always refer back to. Because if you're just focusing on pumping thousands of pounds on marketing and copy and paste plans, eventually that candle burns out very, very quickly, and
Hmm.
people start to realize that you're full of shit. Whereas, like, my coaching could still be just a PDF format and a WhatsApp messages with your plan on there, and I'd still be getting wins and good progress and results because still just information that's good and progressive and promoting proper bodybuilding. It will be sent out to people, obviously. You can have all the fanciest sheets in the world and all of the social media marketing or whatever, but at the end of the day, bodybuilding is lifting weights, eating protein, picking up shit and putting it back down again, and fucking drugs. Like that's what it is, and doing it in the right way, in the correct manner. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
I
I
feel
fully
like
back it. Fully.
yeah, Like, I mean, like Christian could have prepped you with text messages, macro updates, and a program written on WhatsApp, and you'd still done exactly the same, really, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But that's towards the end. He was just like, do this, do that. Like
Yeah.
pre-week, he was like, meal one,
I mean,
meal two,
fucking hell, me
meal
and
three,
Connor
meal
spit
four.
like that towards the back end of it as well. That's
Yeah,
exactly how I do it. Yeah.
yeah. And to be fair, for me, it was just simple. I don't want like,
Yeah.
don't want
I
anything
don't.
else. Just
You
tell me what
don't
to eat.
need it.
No, you don't need it.
If you're with a coach for the service only, you're not going to be a good bodybuilder. If you're with a coach for the actual ability of the coach and the effort and the programming that they give you, you're going to be a good bodybuilder.
Mhm.
Like, if you don't care how the info is given to you, as long as it's given to you, great, you're going to be good, or as good as you can be.
I think
So
that's really important because some people, I'm with Nath now, for example, and I know obviously going from Christian to Nath, I'm not going to say, oh yeah, Nath gets me back in about 2 hours. Like I don't really care what time he gets back to me. I couldn't give one.
yeah,
Like you could get back to me.
yeah.
I'm just there just for him to be like, yeah, you're all good, mate. See you next week. I speak to him once a week for a check-in. I don't have somebody there going, yeah, if I message him back, he's going to get back to me in 2 minutes time. Like I think a lot of people need that sort of. Oh, I need to message him, make sure everything's all good. He's going to get back to me.
We joke, me and Connor joked about this the other day, man. This
Yeah.
is funny, didn't we? Do you remember in the chat? Everyone was joking
Yeah.
about it. It's quite funny. Um, so like some probably disgruntled client got really upset that I had removed them from my group chat. That is for my clients. You're no longer a client. Bye-bye. Sorry, but I use it to keep a track of the numbers of how many clients I've got. I don't use it so that we can all have a jolly in there, even when you quit the team. What are you on about? Fucking weird. Um, so um, so yeah, so they were very upset about that, and we kind of joked that, oh, apparently you don't get back to your clients, and it's like, and I was posting messages in the chat, kind of laughing at it. It's like 11 minutes I get back to someone, 3 minutes get back to someone, 20 minutes get back to someone. Do you know what I mean? And this is like either with a full check-in or like show day or whatever. You know, if you want to go and hire another coach and find out how slow they are, from like a states one or whatever, do it, because I fucking can't wait to see you come crawling back and go, okay, yeah, I was wrong. So funny,
No,
man.
it is, man. It is.
Okay, I'll jump with another one. What are the signs that it's time to step away from bodybuilding?
Oh, that's a good one. That's an interesting one. Um, okay, what do you guys think? What's your sort of when would you say that you guys are done with it? Like, what is the straw that breaks the camel's back, so to speak?
I,
And
I personally
I'll see if
think
mine
the
is.
reason the reason why people carry on is because they need the itch probably to keep growing or achieve what they've always probably wanted to, but they probably haven't got the ability to actually get where they want to get to. So you
Yeah,
see someone on stage at like maybe like I don't know 30 years old or like late 30s, and they're like, okay, I need to get to this body weight, I need to look like this, but
yeah,
they're genetically not in a position probably to get there, and then they try
yeah,
and force it. And as we know, if we try and force muscle in a certain period of time and they don't have the genetics for that, like you have clients who just want to grow. You have, for example, Jack Eagles, who literally in 9 months looked like he made about 9 years worth of progress.
yeah.
People can't accept the fact that they can't make that much progress, and they try and force things, and it makes them look even worse and worse and worse. And you always have that person who looks worse and worse and worse, and they keep going and going and going. And I
Yeah.
think it's just because they have that sort of idea in their head that you need to achieve a certain goal. And I think it's
Mm.
when you get to that time where you try and get something that's just unattainable,
Yeah.
unachievable, that's when it's
That's when it's time to bow. What about
yeah.
you, Con? When do you think is the time
I
when you
think
go?
I think the main sort of reason that a lot of people are into bodybuilding is like the act of chasing progression. And I think once you stop seeing that progression, it's
Mhm.
sort of just time. It's similar to what Tommy says, time to kind of step away there. But for me personally, it would be if I'm whatever age, say late 20s, early 30s, and I'm not pro, and I'm at that point, I'm sort of I'm done. I'm like, cool. There's more things to life than this. Like,
I've given it all I can give. I've not
yeah,
achieved
Yeah,
what I needed to
obviously
achieve.
that's obviously if you've given everything you have and then you can't get to that point, then
yeah,
obviously with health and order, and
Oh,
if your
absolutely,
health's getting
absolutely. And
detrimented,
I think that's the thing. It's time to step away when you have really given it the beans for a while, and you either have achieved what you actually initially set out to achieve, or you haven't achieved it. And either way, you've still given it what you needed to give it. Look at Johnny. Johnny is going to do maybe what, 2 or 3 more pro shows, maybe 4 if we're lucky, and then he's probably going to call it quits and then
mhm.
just focus on coaching and still train and still stay big, stay on TRT, just focus on enjoying his lifts and stuff, downsize a bit for health purposes. but that's his. He's going to just do a little bit in the pros, have some fun, try and do the best he can, bring a really good look that he's happy with, and then that's that. But
Yeah.
as a competitor, like that's he's achieved what he needed to do to get. He's got the pro card, right? Now he's going to have a bit of fun competing at these pro ranks and stuff, traveling, doing all this cool stuff, and then when it's time, all right, I've had my fun with it. I can bow out of it now. I can you can slog it for years, but will it really do much more than no?
No.
And
Sure.
and the thing is as well, I think a lot of people don't really have that either. Sometimes, well, some people don't have the realism or someone to come and give them a case of realism that they will take on board professionally and properly. So like Tom, if you had the mindset of I want to turn pro, I want to do this, I want to do whatever, as a coach, if I was coaching you, I'd say, hey man, like we can try for the next like 5 years,
Hmm.
but if we don't get it, then let's consider that this just isn't going to happen for you. Go into a sort of a downsizing thing, and you can talk to me about what you want to do with your bodybuilding for the rest of your however long.
Yeah, because if I had
Yeah,
that saying, okay, I need on the need, or I'm going to
yeah,
become pro, instant delusional, like in my opinion. And you always need people around you to be just not only accountable to yourself, but like you
yeah.
said, when the time's right to step away. Firstly,
Yeah.
you should have realistic goals in mind, like you said.
And
I'm not
also,
going
dude, here's one of the things I think is one of the biggest things. You guys will find this as well. Like downsizing and like losing muscle and stuff like that. Obviously, initially it does feel a bit weird, but like now I don't care. I couldn't give a
to.
fuck with me. Like I honestly do not care. As long as I'm in reasonable shape. And the thing is as well, do you want to know what's really funny? I'm still in better shape than 99% of the population.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing,
Like
though. It's mad, isn't it?
but you want to be like the best in the best shape around bodybuilders. You're not anymore. You're not around
Mm.
these freaks. You don't need to be better than them. You don't need to. You just need to be better than 99% of the population to make yourself feel good yourself. Fucking hell,
It's
like,
true though.
you
It's
know.
so true though.
I walk down the street in a t-shirt and a pair of fucking shorts in the summer. Whatever people, little young fucking lads, always big he is, all big lad, whatever. Like I'm still gonna get that, right? I don't have to be 200, 300 pounds with fucking veins pulsing through my arms, like looking like a freak, for them to go, oh, big lad, because it's the same fucking response that I'm.
Yeah.
True. It's true.
Yeah,
I,
it is.
I, I've got a question I want to ask you.
Cool. Are we able to wrap up after this one? I've got to
Yeah,
eat some dinner.
I can't. But to be fair, well, I can't pretty
Let's do
finish
it.
on it. But
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I was going to say top three arm wrestlers you would say from one, two, three
Like top three is in.
ever.
My favorite was. Oh man, do you know? I actually just trained. Actually, I just trained earlier on. Not table time. I was doing my weights. I Do you know what, man? I love Dave. I love the way Dave Chafee pulls. I fucking look like him, but I love
You
the way
do.
I love the way Dave Chafee pulls. I just love it, man. It's such a it's such a good top roll. It's just such a powerful, twisting, driving sort of top roll. I love the way that he hits it like that, and he's a very respectable bloke and like professional on the table. He's not like a dick about it. He's
I
not.
think the way he
He'll
handled
he'll,
the
he'll get a
yeah.
good grip, but he won't take the literal piss with it. He
Hmm.
won't. He won't be a total tosspot about it. And I like that. I like as close to fair arm wrestling as you can sort of get. You know what I mean?
That's
Um,
good.
I really like that. As close as you can get to it. Obviously there's gammy stuff that happens, but I think if you're a total dick on the set, this man. Like when
Like
you're a total
trying to get the grip, trying to get the
yeah,
that's the
a,
thing.
a good one either side, and you're happy with it, and you're both pretty good, and it's not total take the piss. But if you physically do a way to stop someone else getting a grip because you're just a dick. Like it's a test of strength between two men. It should have some level of fairness and some rigidity to it. It shouldn't be who can be the cheatingest cunt. Like I just
No,
don't like that.
I
I
agree.
know that's a lot of it, but I don't like that side of arm wrestling. I don't think I ever will because if I'm going to lose because someone is genuinely stronger than me, great. That's fine. I'll take the fucking flash pin all day long. But if someone's going to beat me because they had some stupid grip that I couldn't, you're not stronger than me, mate. You're not stronger than me. You're just a more gammy cunt. Like, that's it.
I heard you two had an arm wrestle backstage
Mate,
at PCA.
Oh
well,
yeah, when I was fucking
mate,
cracked.
loved it. Like I said, I've been arm wrestling for literally 10 years. I've been following arm wrestling for 10
Yeah.
years. And when I said to Tom, I was like, yeah. You don't really come across people who have been arm wrestling or had do arm wrestle, follow arm wrestling. But
I'm definitely better now. I'm definitely a lot stronger now. Yeah, I've
yeah,
got
but you can tell. But we'll say if you can round up your thoughts on the arms very quickly, what would you think of
Oh,
classic?
sorry, we were doing the top three, but Dave Chaffee's number one. Then I like Denis Saplenkov again because he's just it seems like a genuine
One of the goats, mate.
I will beat you because I'm stronger than you. I don't need to be a cunt about it. And then I think I like Morozov as well.
You like Morozov?
Yeah, on the left arm, yeah.
Yeah,
because he's
that's
just a
good.
beast. He's just
He is
like a
good.
bodybuilder. He's fucking jacked.
No, he is, man. He's
Yeah.
huge. But then Russian
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
and the Georgian guys are coming through as well.
Yeah, like Morozov is easily, I would say, he's just so good. He's just so technically good. Like he doesn't like, you know what I mean? Like I mean Hermes is cool, but I really like Morozov, Saplenkov, and Dave Chafee, really. Yeah.
That's a good little
Yeah,
three.
I like that, man. That's it. But in terms, sorry, Arnold's wrap up. Yes, Samson's amazing, man. But Samson needs to find a new coach. He could win. He could win. He could. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love Samson. He's so cool. But like, we wash away the Milos. We put someone in who's mint, like who can really put that time and attention to his athlete and whatever, and really get that final detailing done. And he will be Mr. Olympia. He will do it. He can do it. He has the potential. He's beautiful to look at. He's enormous. He's an absolute freak. Like, it's very possible. He just needs to scrape his glutes and some more.
Yeah, do you think it's a conditioning
He needs
issue?
a bigger ass so that he can get more of it off. He needs to go and hit a glute block for a year and then come back, and then it's lights out, game over. Then it's Ronnie Coleman on stage.
Yeah.
So
Huh?
that's my opinion. But
Yeah.
and obviously, Raphael is unbelievable as well.
Yeah.
What a beautiful structure.
We said, didn't we? We said
What
that
a
little
beautiful
prediction.
structure that
I
is.
know.
It's just beautiful. It's just put together perfectly. And that he's actually going to do all right now, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, the improvements that he's made from 2022.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Hardy Chupan is just condition personified.
That was
Like,
he was way improved from the
Way
like,
improved.
perfectly peaked, improved. Yeah, because he got fucked off, didn't he? He was like, right, fuck this, I'm bringing it. So he's brought it. And now all those people are like, he'll never win another show after that. It's just like, it's like, oh,
It's
he's
true, though.
ruined it for himself now. They'll never let him win again. It's like, wins the Arnold. It's like, it's funny,
It's
man.
true though. I think he smoked Samson, in my opinion. Everyone said, "Oh yeah, Samson might have it." I think personally, not wiped the floor, but it was in most shots. I think side tricep.
Hardy is, yeah. Samson can do it. He can, but he needs to improve. He needs to improve. And I don't know. I don't know. I love Samson to bits. He's such a pleasant, genuine guy as well. And he's such a good ambassador for UK bodybuilding. Oh my God, like he's such a good guy. But I feel like maybe, it's just an opinion. It could be wrong, but I feel like Milos does need to go now. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't like Milos anyway because he's fucking.
Anything from you, Connor?
No, I agree with all of it. I think the horse MD thing that we spoke about earlier was a shame.
Oh yeah, he just wasn't a shape, was it?
Such a shame, man.
But
yeah, James looked great. James did look good. James looked very, very good. From the side, James's side tricep was
ridiculous,
wicked,
beautiful. From the back, he's just peeled. I think obviously the midsection thing he knows about.
It was a midsection thing, isn't it? That's what I thought.
But he knows about it. He knows, and he can't really do a lot about it. Like, you know,
his prejudging look was scored higher than the finals look. I think they just preferred him fuller than drier, which I think most people do as well. Because the UK Arnold's before, when he was like full of health.
Yeah, UK Arnold's was a nice look.
Yeah, that's probably. I'm so glad I saw him there. But anyway, Tom, thank you for coming on, mate. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for answering the questions, sorry, in terms of your protocols, what to do, what not to do, all that sort of stuff. But I'm sure we'll see more of you this year with people that you're going on.
Yeah, not too long now, not too long. First show of the season coming up.
But thank you, man. Like, subscribe, tag us in stories. But thank you, Tom. It's been a good one. And we'll see you in the next one, people.
Have
a good one, guys.